I guess go ahead and get started. And if any others join us, then we will uh, be glad to welcome them in as well. Again, Elizabeth, thank you for joining us. I'm Karen Laws with Online and Transfer Services, and we have Christy Lewis here with App State Online, and she's going to be telling us about the online program. So feel free to chat, or I believe you are able to unmute yourself if you have questions. And then I'm sure Christy will have a session at the end for questions and answers if you have additional questions as you go through the presentation.
All right. Yes, thank you. Oh, thank you, Karen. So Elizabeth, we are glad to have you here with us to learn more just in general about online program success with being a student as an online student, and we do talk a little bit about App State Online as well. But and I'm sorry if I look away. I'm kind of looking at another screen because I have a laptop and an iPad. But anyways, I'm Christy Lewis, as Karen stated. I'm with App State Online. I am the program manager, and I oversee our App State Online orientation and student engagement and retention. I'm a part of admissions into our cohorts, and I help student advise as well. So today we're going to talk about how students in online programs can learn more about online academic resources, balancing your home life and work obligations, and how you can feel like part of the institution's community. The information provided is not all App State Online specific and can be used at any online program university. And so during this program, as Karen mentioned, you are more than welcome to unmute yourself and ask questions, send them in the chat, but there will be a part at the end where you can ask any questions and we'll be happy to answer them. So like I said, today we'll be talking about the online program student success. And just make sure I can get my PowerPoint to work here. There we go. So first I'm going to start off with general resources for online students. And this is whether you're planning to attend ASO or, like I said, any other online program. These will include study sites and tips, textbook information, and we'll go through several of each. Okay. Oh, sorry. Technical difficulties. All right, so we're going to start off with books first. So as an online student, typically whenever you're a part of one of these programs, renting textbooks through the institution is not a part of your tuition. So a lot of our students, especially App State Online students, have to go through third-party sites like the ones listed here below, not one in particular, just whatever works best for the student. But the reason why, like I said, was because the tuition, your distance education tuition is lower. So if you were to be a part of the rental program, then your tuition would be higher. So you have the option to choose wherever. And like I said, these are just three mostly common ones that I'm aware of. So the first one is Amazon. I won't click on the link just because a lot of people are familiar with Amazon. So what you do is you just collect those ISBN numbers that you are given once you figure out what your textbooks are. Like for ASO students, typically you have to wait till you register for classes to know what books that you need. Or there is a nice little feature, and I can show you here a little demonstration. So this is the Appalachian State University bookstore. So if you're planning to come to App State Online, you can, and you register for your courses, you would put your student ID here and hit submit. And then all the books that are for those courses you registered for will show up. Or if you're just kind of planning, you know what classes you're taking, you haven't registered yet, but you want to plan ahead. That's me, I like to plan ahead. You'll just choose right now. We don't have things changed for fall 2021 yet. But for instance, you would choose your term, and then you would choose, this is just one I really know off the top of my head. CTE 1590 is a course that all of our CTE students have to take. And distance education, their section number is 350. So these students would have to choose this book here, Personal Finance. And so when I was talking about the ISBN, this is what you would choose or highlight and copy, paste, whatever's easiest for you. And that's when you go into one of these other sites. and you choose the book and whatever's easiest for you. Like I said, not one over the other. I personally use Amazon a lot, but I've heard really good things about checkbooks and campus book rentals. And I do believe, Amazon, you have to have, I don't think you have to have a yearly subscription, but you have to be a part of it. And I'm sure if you don't do the yearly subscription, you have to do a monthly one. Checkbooks, I believe it is free to sign up, but of course, if you rent the books or purchase the books, you have to pay for those. And the same with campus book rentals, but I'll be happy to click on each one. I don't actually have an account because I'm not a student. But so right here, you can save up to 90% off on textbooks, 21-day risk-free returns, and then you have a 4-week free trial of the Check Study. So if this is something that, as an online student, feel free to do your research on each one and choose which one is best for you. And then the same with the campus book rentals. I've heard really good things about this one as well. So right here, you'll search by your ISBN. It'll pull up your book that you need. And I think on this one, you can rent and you can buy. And the good thing about the campus book rentals, you can sell them back and hopefully get some money back. So that is a nice part of that. So Chegg, it allows students to obtain 24/7 support and help in their studies through online tutorial services, study help tools, and solution manuals. It has a comprehensive guide for preparing for major exams. Students can also check out Chegg to find scholarships, course reviews, or rent textbooks that cost a lot less than buying them. Renting seems to be the way to go. And then the campus book rentals provide students with affordable textbooks, empowering more than 1 million students to study cheaper. And their great prices make it easy for you to rent your new or used textbook for just the right amount of time. And if you do choose to buy your book from CBR or somewhere else, they do that sub back that allows you to get cash for books that you no longer need, while helping keep costs low for those who do. And like I said, of course, there are more options out there, and these were the top ones that we are aware of. So as always, do your research and pick what is best for you and your budget. But most online students that I'm aware of, professors try to do their best to keep costs low with textbooks. So, always just reach out to professors to see if you necessarily need the book, or if they're aware of other sites that are easily available for our students or any online student in general to find textbooks. And so next, we're going to talk about some study sites and other useful resources for an online program. So some of those I'm going to probably jump around here. One of my favorite ones, and I actually used it as I was in college, is Rate My Professors. And what that does is, if you're joining a online program, you don't really know much about the university, or even if you plan to go to a main campus. Either way, if you're just not familiar with anything and you're kind of hesitant, like, well, I don't know which professor to sign up for, Rate My Professor is, it allows college and university students, so you're getting, make sure I put this in the right terms, you're getting their opinions about other professors. So take it, how you see it. But this allows to assign ratings to professors and campuses of colleges or institutions. And not all professors will be listed, but if you're interested in learning more about a professor from other students' viewpoints, you can visit the site. And it kind of lets you know, oh, this class is, it even talks about the courses. It says this course is completely lecture-based, or this professor was really helpful and stuff like that. So it kind of helps you let you know the best professor to go with, or what may fit your learning needs better. So next will be Blue and Chegg Prep. So Study Blue has changed into Chegg Prep, and that is, it allows you to find or make flashcards to help you study. So, you have to base it off the easiest way for you to study. And I know for me, personal experience, I was really dependent on flashcards to help me study. So Study Blue Chegg Prep is good for that, and it allows you to make, you can make them, or you can you can search, and you can actually find you just never know. Somebody that took this course a while back may have already made these flashcards. So you have the option to study off of what someone else has made. Again, use it to your discretion, you know, if you want to just double check to make sure everything's correct, but it might be nice just to make your own flashcards, but it's an easy way to help you study. The next thing is Google Drive. I think we're all familiar with Google Drive, but it's just something that's very useful. I know as a prior student, I used it quite often to help collaborate on projects with other students, because you do have the option to share your work with others. It's awesome to be able to store all your information in. Mine's not very neat and organized, but I hope to get it that way someday. But it houses everything as long as you save it to it. Like this presentation comes straight from, I created it, but it is through presentations with Google Drive. So it saved it in there. I didn't have to worry about nothing disappearing or losing it or trying to find the flash drive that I saved it to. And I'll stop 1 second. And Amanda, we're happy to have you here with us. You haven't missed too much yet, but I do believe that we are recording this and it will be on our website for you to review any information that you have missed. And we will have questions at the end, but feel free if you have questions throughout. You can either chat or you can unmute your mic and ask, and it won't bother me if I'm interrupted. But we're happy to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Again, about Google Drive, it's a file storage and synchronization service developed by Google, so you can share documents, Excel sheets, and presentations just like the one that I have here. And you house any important task or homework you're working on. Perfect thing to type papers in. Like I said, very hard. As long as you get it created, it typically saves unless something's going wrong with your laptop or computer. It saves it for you, so you know everything's going to be there whenever you click back on it. So the next thing is Quizlet, which is a lot like Study Blue. They do flashcards as well, and you can create. That's what I really love about Quizlet, is you actually get to create your flashcards, or you search. I know when I was in college, actually, a lot of my courses had Quizlets made for the courses or material. So I just got to study off other people's flashcards that they made, which was a lot easier than me making my own. But like I said, use your discretion, make sure everything's correct, because, you know, if you study what somebody else does and it's not completely right, then you might not do so well on your test or homework or whatever it may be. But Quizlet allows students to study various topics via learning tools and games, and it trains students via flashcards and various games and tests. So not only does it have flashcards, but there are quizzes and tests that you can do as well. And games. We all like games. But I will pause right here before I go into the study in depth and just see if anybody has any questions off of what I've already discussed so far. No questions? I'm okay with that. Let me make sure I'm. So the study in depth link I'm going to go to is something that has been put together by our Student Learning Center at Appalachian State. And like I said, it's not App State specific. It's just a study cycle guide to help you with, you know, learning, retaining that information, and the best way to help with studying. I won't go over all of it, but I'll be happy to share these links in the chat at the end. And that way, if you want to copy those down, you can have it for your use. But so how, and I'm going to kind of give you my student experience. Something I learned, like if you're in a lecture class, in, you know, online programs, some of you may have to be in asynchronous courses, and even in synchronous courses or asynchronous courses, you're going to have to read, take notes, anything like that. My thing is learn, you know, pay attention in class, take the notes. You don't have to fill everything in, you know, just make sure you're learning, retaining that information, and then maybe an hour, hour and a half after, as long as you don't have any other classes after that, or, you know, work or anything like that, then what you need to do is rewrite those out in your own words and just keep going over that. So that's kind of what this does. It talks about, you know, attend your class, ask questions, take those meaningful notes, and then review those. Don't just do it for one day and then, 3 months later you get a test and you're like, I don't remember anything that was talked about. That was me. So one thing that I learned was, read over them each week, rewrite them out. Those things are some really quick tools to help you learn. Some other things are graphic organizers. So a lot of people do well with visuals. So you can always, in your notes, make a chart, compare, contrast, do a network tree, a triangle cycle, a hierarchy tree, anything like that. It helps you, and you want to plan deep study sessions twice a week per class. Be creative, do something that's going to stick with you. And, if you're a visualizer, in a test or have a photographic memory, study over those notes. And when you're taking that test, you can just picture it in your mind, like, oh yes, I drew that pie chart and this is what this is. So use these sessions to read more in depth, write reflections, discuss content with a peer. And I know as an online student, you really don't get that option as much. But that's one thing I'll kind of talk about here in a little while is as an online student, you need to reach out to your other other students, your other peers, and talk with them, have Zoom sessions. I'm pretty sure we're all over Zoom after COVID, but just so you can have that connection with someone else and you can discuss your content with them. And like I said, create a visual version, such as one of the above graphic organizers. So like I said, I won't go through it all. I will be happy to put this link in the chat, and I'll actually do it right now so I do not forget. And that way you can save it and look at everything, on your own leisure, and you have more time to kind of look through everything. Sorry here. So any questions about those sites, study sites, or other useful resources? Perfect. So next is some tips, just general tips to be successful in your online program. Note-taking tips is going to be one of those big ones. Like I said, take those notes, give yourself plenty of blank spaces in your notes and plenty of room to write. This will allow you to make those additional notes, do those visuals I was talking about, and write textbook references. And your notes will be easier to read if you write in pen and use only one side of the paper, but it's also easier for you to retain when you write them in your own words. That's something that I learned as a student as well. When you're kind of just taking what's off the PowerPoint or presentation and writing it down, it doesn't tend to stick with you as much, but whenever you do it in your own words, it's easier for you to think back and remember, oh, okay, that's what this was. It also, technical difficulties again. It may be difficult to make your notes look great or to have them extremely organized as you write them. So again, work with your notes as soon as class is over, or whenever you can recall it at best, and you may be able to fill in some blanks. Color coding can help with that. And then example, identify concepts and categories by highlighting items with a particular color. And if you still have problems organizing your notes, begin to formulate a specific question for your professor or study groups. One thing that helped me was just rewriting my notes over, making them organized, especially after class. So, like I said, as you're doing it in class, it's hard because you're trying to leave enough space, and then you don't leave enough space, and it's like crammed in the corners or in the margins. And then later, whenever you're trying to go back over, it just doesn't make sense. So note-taking tips is a big, big part of trying to be successful in your online courses. The next thing is strategies for efficient and strategic reading. And I'm going to just go ahead and copy and add this in the chat as well. And like I said, these are put together by our Student Learning Center for App State Online, or just Appalachian State University in general. But it's also any kind of online program. So before you start to read, this was a big thing for me, and I'm sure it is for a lot of students and online students. Trying to sit down and read is hard, especially when you're at home, or, you know, a lot of our online students, they work full time, you know, they have families, so there's so many distractions. I know for me, just even trying to read for, you know, just my general pleasure of relaxing, it's hard. I have a little 1-year-old. Hopefully y'all don't have to hear her in the background, but it's just hard to just sit down and block everything out and read. So before you start to read, take 5 to 10 minutes to preview the reading. Look at titles and words in bold. If there are no titles and bolded words, skip around and read a few phrases and sentences throughout the reading. One thing that I used to do, and I'm sure students still do it to this day, take your favorite candy, put it on that next paragraph, reward yourself. It will help you big time. So use this time to get your bearings on the reading, identify 1 or 2 questions or topics that you hope to understand better by the time you finish the reading, and this may aid in your focus. I know for me, and I'm not saying everybody, but biology or chemistry, any of those sciences, those were the most hard for me to read. So as an online student, unless you come in with your general education, you may have to take, you know, your sciences to get them fulfilled. So if you're anything like me, you know, use these resources to help you get through that. And so as you read, focus on the reading for a limited amount of time. 15 to 30 minutes is a general goal, but everyone's ability to focus may vary. For example, me, I can get distracted easily. So, or I just get burnout after so long. So, you know, break it up. Don't think you have to sit there for a whole, you know, 2 hours. I got to get this done type of deal. Because I think you'll be able to get it done if you break it up. Read actively and push forward, and don't get too bogged down in the details. Your goal right now is just to get the overall main idea. And then watch for information that may answer questions that arose during your preview, and read to understand a concept better, not just to complete the reading. I know that's a lot of people's goal is just, I need to get it done, but you know, you want to understand what you are reading. So whenever you do go to do that assignment or take that test, it's easier to recall. So after you read, this is the time that you can, you know, think about everything, make sure you know, understood something, go back and reread if you have to, but after your time is up, you can tell you're no longer focusing well, stop. There's no reason to push forward. You're not going to retain that information. And now go back after what you read to pull out all the few main ideas, jot down just words in the margins to help you remember a main point or to write a question to bring up in class, or jot down a list of key points in your notes, something that's going to jog your memory. Just something you can think of really easily that relates to that, and it can, you know, pull it right back in when you have that time, or when you're in that moment of that test or paper or whatever you may be completing for that online class. And if needed, now is a good time to reread any key section you assess as worth closer review. And so for further practice, consider enrolling in, this is a course through App State Online, so I actually will not read that out loud. So in case, or App State University. Sorry guys, I'm with ASO, so a lot of times saying ASU gets me really confused, but you know, we are all Appalachian State. So, you know, if you do plan to join ASO, feel free to look into that class. It may be able to help you. And here are some other few websites that may also help. Freerice.com. It's a fun way to build your vocabulary. Vocabulary knowledge affects reading speed. And then vocabulary.com. It's an interactive website and very helpful definitions with sample sentences. So that can help with your reading as well. So if you are new to online learning, which a lot of students that we get with App State Online are completely new to online learning. It's, we have a range of students that get 1 semester of community college under their belt, or as long as they meet the requirements to come into the program, to students who are in their 50s, or you know, even older than that, that do have a lot more college experience under their belt. So if you are just completely new to online learning or just want to learn more, this Online Learning 101 orientation provides great resources and recommendations on technology fitting into your program fitting your program into your life, and then the online classroom and student services. So I'm actually going to click on it. We don't have to go through the modules. Again, this is something I will share in the chat with you. That way it's, I find it easier when people share things in chat. I can just go ahead and have a tab pulled up, and then after the meeting's over, I can save tabs or do whatever I need to do. But the online learning one-on-one, it's welcoming you into learning online. It's an introduction. And we're happy that, you're exploring online classes, hopefully with the University of North Carolina member school. So whether you're taking a single class or a whole online program, you can expect a challenging, rewarding academic experience. So to help you on your way to success, they've developed a series of modules that will help you understand what it means to be an online student. So it's divided into 2 sections. So if you're a prospective student, which I'm assuming or most of you might be, or you might be a currently enrolled student, you want to choose which one's best for you. So if you're a prospective student, you'll click here. And like I said, truth be told, online learning isn't for everyone. So this is something you want to, I would say, do this before you decide you want to do an online program. This way you know that you can focus on your work, which we'll talk about here in a minute, work, life, school balance. You want to make sure you can balance all of that. So you want to make sure, you have the technology to do so at home. Like we're working from home, or I've been working from home for at least, it's been actually a year, I think a year, 2 days ago. So, at first, this was a whole whirlwind for us. And, it took a little bit, but I think we got everything that we needed to, be successful working from home. But this is something that also helps you look into that to make sure you have the devices or the internet speed. Because I'll tell you right now where I live, we had to do so many internet speed tests because I could be on a Zoom with colleagues, and then next thing you know, they can't hear me. And it was because my internet speed was not good enough to be able to be on our secure network and do a Zoom. So it's just things like that that you think would not, hinder you from doing an online program or to be successful in an online program, but it can. So these modules will decide if online courses are right for you based on your technology skills and experience, learning preferences, and ability to fit online coursework into your life. So what you would do is you would begin a pre-assessment. And I'm not going to go through all of this, but we can kind of look through it. So this pre-assessment has 22 questions divided among 3 sections: technology, online classroom, and fitting the online program into basically your life. So you would put your email here so you can receive the results. So these are some of the questions that it's going to ask. I have daily access to a computer less than 3 years old for my online courses. Without my work computer, because it is fairly new, I think our personal laptop here at home is maybe 2 years old. So I would be able to say yes to that. My computer is connected to the internet with a reliable high-speed connection, such as cable or fiber. I would have to press no. I am here in the Boone area, a little bit outside of the city limits, and I'm surrounded by trees. So when the weather gets pretty bad, my internet's not that reliable. So I would just have to answer that question as no. I have a webcam, headphones, or speakers, and microphone that I know how to use. I would click yes. I have headphones. You can see me through my webcam. And I would say my speakers on my laptop are perfect, but they are not. Sometimes I go in and out, so usually my headphones are the best way to go. My browser will play common media formats. If you know your computer and it will do that, then you would answer that question. I feel confident in my internet skills, such as navigating between pages, using a search engine, and downloading files. I would put strongly agree. Sometimes it may be tricky. And then I'm comfortable installing software and changing configuration settings on my computer. I would have to disagree. Sometimes I feel like if I click something, it might mess everything up. So luckily, as an online student, and like I said, for Absolutely Online, our students have, the resource of our IT through Appalachian State University. So if it's something that you need help with, they are more than welcome to help you. You just put in a ticket or a chat, schedule a phone call with them, and they will get back to you and help you figure that out, which is awesome. I'm comfortable locating, opening, and saving files on the computer. Sometimes opening scares me because you just never know. There's so many viruses out there, but strongly agree usually. And like I said, I'm not going to go through all of these, but you just hit the next page, and then it's going to talk about the online classroom. So I learn best when I figure things out for myself. Me personally, that is so true. You can walk me through something, demonstrate something for me, and I'll let you know if I have questions once I do it on my own. I like to be hands-on. I learn best by frequently interacting with other students and my instructor. So again, with online programs, some classes are asynchronous and some are synchronous, where you have face-to-face meetings virtually through Zoom. So if that's something for you, you need to look how that program is delivered to help, if you learn better by interacting with your professor and your student face-to-face, or so you can see them face-to-face right now and virtually. It's getting me a little confused because we're just all virtual. But if a program is not set up that way, and that's something how you learn, and I lost my train of thought, how you learn and how well you will do in that program, then maybe an asynchronous course may not be best for you. So just always look at how that program is delivered as well. So some programs use both. Some you're kind of out there on your own. You do your work and complete it in the time's given. And you may not have to do a virtual Zoom session with the whole class. I learn best from things I hear, like lectures, audio recordings, or podcasts. So like I said, answer these questions and it will kind of let you know where you stand with doing an online program or whether it's just an online course. And then fitting the online into your life. I have compelling reason for taking an online course. So for me, example, I'm a full-time employee of Appalachian State. I'm a full-time mother. And basically, I'm like OCD, so I clean all the time as well. So this would be the reason I would need to take an online course, mostly because of my job. It's 8-5, Monday through Friday. So trying to stop and go to main campus and take the course and whatnot just really wouldn't fit in my schedule the best. So kind of look at the reason why you're wanting to take that online course or program. I have determined to stick to my studies despite challenging situations. So that's one thing with online students. We, professors and, ASO staff, we understand things can come up. We understand that you have families and jobs. And like I said, we'll talk about this when I go into the work-life school balance. Just make sure that everybody within your household is for you doing this online program, so you feel good about it. And if challenging situations do arise, you can get that help that you need. I set a goal before starting a task. Me personally, I strongly agree. I have a place to study where I can read and work in coursework without distractions. Me, not so much. We have a smaller house, so we're kind of all confined in a way. I'd have to retreat to my bedroom, but that's one thing that I've learned throughout my studies is if you study in your bedroom, you're going to associate that, and when you go to bed, it's going to be harder to go to sleep, or vice versa. You go to study in your bedroom and you're studying in your bed, you're more likely to want to take a nap. Okay, we had a question. I'll be happy to answer that. So this question is, how can we participate with the school? Can we come on campus and participate with the games? And Jack, does that mean like the ASU football games or basketball or anything like that? Okay, so our App State Online students, and you are asking for App State Online or App State, okay. So our students are different from main campus. Within main campus, there's a fee within their tuition for them to be able to join those games. So as an App State Online student, you can go and participate in watching events, but I do believe you would have to pay. So I know unless they change things You should be able to get a student ticket for come in as a student visitor. I think there's $20, but I'll be happy to look into that for you, Jag. If you want to share your email at the end of this session, I'll be happy to look into that and get you all the up-to-date information. Right now with COVID, I think spring, they're starting to look more into how many onlookers can come in and whatnot. So I'll definitely get you all that information. My schedule allows approximately 9 hours of study time every week for each 3-credit-hour online class I take. So these are the questions that you need to sit down. I would say sit down when you have some time, complete all these, and that way you know exactly what you're getting yourself into as far as just being an online student. And then you hit submit at the end and they will email your results. So this is a wonderful tool to use if you have not been an online learner before. And like I said, even if you have, there's that currently enrolled part and you can click on that as well. So my next big piece is work-life school balance. And as this picture says, work, school, everything else. So let me get my thing put up here. So my first thing here is reinforce your personal support system. I kind of touched base on this in one of those questions we talked about. Before deciding to jump into an online program or just back to school in general, you should talk with your family, your children. For instance, like me, she's 14 months old. She's not going to give me much feedback. Might just scream at me one good time. Or anyone else you provide care for to make sure that you will have the support you need. Some students are working parents and asynchronous courses tend to be at nighttime. So make sure your family supports your decisions so you can focus on your courses in the evening when that is typically family time. Next is lean on your professional contacts. Many students who join an online program that work full or part-time make your supervisor boss aware that you're going back to school so that you can make arrangements like flex time, working from home, or delegating responsibilities. Letting them know of your plans can help make that school-work balance seem less stressful. Also, do not be afraid to reach out to your program coordinator or professors. They are here to help you along on your academic journey and can try to make accommodations. So that's one thing I really wanted to stress on. So, going back to, not being an online learner before, this is a big leap, a big change, a big learning curve. Once you're into that program and, work, life, anything can be thrown at you every which way. Please do not hesitate to reach out to those professors. Those professors or program coordinators want to see you succeed. They are willing to accommodate in any way that they can. They don't want to see you come in, do your work, couple weeks, you fall off the train here. And then at the very end, you're like, oh, I need to make up like 5 weeks or something. Let them know at the beginning that something's going on. That way they can help you get a plan, help arrange anything to make it easier for you. So please reach out to those professors. And again, the same thing with work. Please reach out to your boss or supervisor and let them know that you are going back to school and you're not giving them less of you there, but they need to know what's going on in your life as well as far as your academics. The next is shuffle your priorities. Many students structure their course load to fit their work schedule. Devising a strategy for handling work and school will ease these pressures and enhance your performance in both areas. Sometimes, let's say you work 8 to 5, and then, come home, eat, see family for a little bit. Like I said, work with your family. Be able to shuffle some things around, not have a strict schedule each day and you're like, oh, I can't do that, or I can't push this forward and move this back. Just, shuffle the best that you can do. You know yourself more than anything. So do that as well. And the next is just plan ahead. Look at your course schedule as soon as it's available and plan out your days and family activities. That way you don't have any conflicts. Of course, professors understand that emergencies arise, but plan ahead as much as you can. And allow for time to be able to shuffle anything that you may need. And next, and this is my big part, is make time for yourself. Do not neglect yourself during your online program. You can end up getting burnout and not wanting to continue and pursue your academic goals. And I'm going to put this link to time management here in the box. I see that I am getting close, cutting the time, and I have a student experience that I want you to see. So I'm going to add this to the chat here. And what this is, it's just helping you focus on habits, reflect, switch some things up, practice self-care. You do not want to get burnt out. We want to see you succeed. Use the 20-minute rule, set a timer and get started on one of your tasks. This helps keep your mind fresh, focused, and inspired. Do one more thing. When you find yourself hesitating to start, think what is one thing I could do right now, rather than I should finish this huge project in one sitting that I don't even want to start on. Big part of that is getting burnout. So make the most of your time. Did that share in the chat? Okay, perfect. Create a study workspace. We kind of touched on that in one of those questions. Keep it separate from those activities that you like to do with your family, or your self-care. Like, don't study in your bedroom on your bed. If you have a desk in there, that's fine, but don't sit on the bed and try to study, vice versa. It just never works out. And then the next is stress management. I have a block here that's not going to let me press on it, I don't think. Sorry. Nope. I will get that pulled up when I'm not presenting, and I'll share that in the chat as well. I apologize. With Zoom and this presentation, I have a black box that's for my presentation that's not allowing me to click on that. Nope. Okay. So next is work-life school balance continued. We want to talk about email etiquette, check virtual office hours, meet with those professors as much as you can, make polite requests, such as be reasonable. Most professors are willing to work with students. They understand life happens and you may need an extension on an assignment, or you'll have to miss class. However, make sure you're contacting your professor in a reasonable amount of time and be flexible. Use wording request. After explaining your situation, ask the professor if your request could be honored. Example, I have 3 papers due on the same day and I'd really like to do my best. Would you mind letting me have one more day? It does not hurt to ask. Like I said, most professors are trying to be accommodating as much. As an online student, they know that you have other responsibilities as well. I do want to share this email etiquette in the chat as well. It's just how to keep a professional relationship with instructors. So tips and examples. So when you have some time, look over this. This will help you tremendously, not only with professors, but just as a professional in general. So it's very helpful. Let me get the chat over here. Okay, and the last part is really just making the most of your online experience. Attend your classes and take notes. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Participate in events that are offered to you, such as, like Jack said, coming to campus and getting in with the student body to enjoy those extracurricular activities. And I'll look into that, and I'll be happy to get some more information to you guys. But as far as other events, I'm talking about like student engagement events. We hold game nights virtually, anything like that. This is a way for you to meet fellow online students and just have fun, relax, step away from work, step away from family obligations, and just come together and have fun. The other night, I actually held a game night, and it can range from anywhere from trivia, Pictionary, just get together, have a social, talk about something. It doesn't have to be exactly what is planned, but just, try to participate in those events as much as possible. And they'll help make you feel like you're more a part of the community. And it's just nice to have that outlet to talk to others. So for example, my game night the other night, not too many online students showed up. And I believe that is because this was something new that we were implementing. And So I actually had one student show up and she wanted to talk to me for an hour and a half on Zoom. And she said, you don't know how much this meant to me. She said, being an online student and during the COVID era, she was like, I don't have many people I can actually just talk to. So that was just one thing that, made me feel good because working from home with a 1-year-old, I don't get out much either. So it was really nice just to be able to have a conversation. So like I said, even if it's just not a game night or trivia night, and we just come together and talk, it helps make your online experience so much better. And the next thing is join in any clubs that are available to you and any honor societies. ASO, we're actually talking about developing a chapter. I can't give too much information about it, but there's things available to our APSE Online students as well. And if it's not APSE Online, I'm sure other online programs have those opportunities for their students as well. But this was one part I wanted to get to. This is Caitlin Helton. She is a BK student, so the Child Development Program. She started in fall 2020. She transferred in from McDowell Technical Community College. She actually had a news article written about her. So if you can Google it and they'll talk about her experience as well. She unfortunately couldn't be here with us today. She had some other obligations. So she was very nice to record me a short clip. And we're going to go ahead and start that. I want to make sure I can get that played before our time is up. And also let me know if the hearing's not good. Okay, I believe hearing is not on our part here.
Christy, try going in and sharing under your share screen tab, share your volume or share your speaker.
Share sounds. Okay. Thank you, Karen, so much.
And just studying and looking around the state at what programs that I would be able to transfer into that would take the credits that I've already had in my courses. And so that's when I came across Appalachian State's BK program, and I began the process to transfer into that program. One of my favorite things is the fact that I am completely getting my BK licensure all online. I am able to work and while I'm doing school and do my classes at night, and it is 100% online. So my biggest piece of advice for anybody that is interested in transferring, whether it be on campus or online, look into the different opportunities that your programs offer and find something that best suits your schedule. So I knew that it wouldn't be possible for me at 21 with a part-time job already in my field that I want to work in. It wouldn't have been possible for me to quit my job and move up to Boone. So when I found out that I would be able to get this degree completely online, that suited me so much better than having to move up there and quit the job that I already have in my profession. Also, another huge piece of advice that I have is talk to your advisors about everything. So I know that my poor advisor, bless her heart, I'm always in her email asking her questions. And the thing is, they are so apt and ready to answer your questions. And so definitely message them and ask them about anything that's going on. I know when I began my transfer process, there were a few bumps in the road. And so I remember at one point I had my advisor from McDowell Tech on the phone with my advisor from Appalachian, and we were just talking about classes and everything. And through those conversations and those meetings, I found out that so many of my credits that I had already gotten through my associate's degree already were applied to my bachelor's degree. So that meant there was a lot less classes that I had to take, which worked out for me in the long run. So definitely talk to those advisors about your plan and any questions that you have, because they are there to help you and to work through the problems that you may be facing. And another thing is, I absolutely love the community that is surrounded by transfer students. Especially with me being a completely online student, I still feel so much in the community at Appalachian, and I know every mask that was sent home with a student on campus was sent to me in the mail through transfer services and through the online services as well. So there is such a community around transfer students and online students that I absolutely love. It makes me feel like I am a part of the university, because we all are. So I'm so excited for you and possibly transferring to Appalachian, and I wish you well. Congratulations.
So again, that was Caitlin Helton. She is a BKH Fall 20 student. And as she said, she is with the, she's working, oh, sorry.
Hi there, my name is Caitlin Helton.
I have all these things. So let me press next slide. Okay. She is working towards getting that degree so she can be fully immersed into her career. That is for her. So I'm actually going to mute myself for a moment and let you ask any questions or comments that you may have just in general about App State Online or online programs. And me and Karen, because Karen has had a lot of, well, she's been with App State Online or just App State University in general longer than I have. So she'll be able to help me answer questions if I'm not able to.
Feel free to unmute, or you can type your questions in the chat, whatever's comfortable with.
Oh, that was nice, Karen. See, I learned something new every day, even on a weekend, that if there's not a club offered that you're interested in, you can actually start a new club. So thank you for sharing that, Karen.
Yes,
And oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Appalachian has over 400 clubs and organizations, and I know with this past year being COVID that we've had to do a lot of online meetings and so forth with our clubs. So it's very possible that those can carry on through to the App State Online group. And so it's very possible, I think, that you could join a club, even be off campus. You may not be able to participate as easily with events and so forth on the main campus, but I'm sure you're welcome to attend if you can. But if you see a club that you're interested in, Jack, reach out to them. Reach out to the president or any of the participants. They should be listed on the club's site, and just say, hey, I'm off campus, but I would like to participate in this club or group, and see what they say.
Yeah, I agree with Karen. I think with COVID, a lot of things with higher ed may change with, what they're going to offer online to make, online programs more
readily available for the
students. Yes, there we go. Yes. So we actually were in talks with another group the other week, and they're like, we only did this due to COVID, but I think now that after, once things can go back to somewhat normal, they're like, we're still going to offer this online or virtually. And that just opens up a big world for so many other students. So another thing I kind of wanted to talk about online program, or just like an online course, this is different. App State Online is different from being a main campus student and taking an online course. So sometimes that does get confusing. So if you are wanting to be a main campus student and you take online you may have the option to do a couple online courses. That is completely different from App State Online. App State Online, we have not all of our programs offered are completely online. That is something you need to look at on our program page, which I'll be happy to put here on this message. And look at how the course is delivered. And Karen, please correct me if I'm wrong. Elementary education we have is held at our center in Hickory. Well,
No,
Caldwell.
it's a Caldwell, yes.
See, I knew.
That's
I
okay.
used to be so well versed on that because I worked with our prospective students, but when we did a reorganization, I now work with help admitting our students and so forth. And then our BSW, our Bachelor of Social Work, is a classroom-based as well, and that is at our center in Burke. So,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
okay.
yes. And then, so like some of our other programs, like our communication studies or communication advertising, those courses are all online. So that is what sometimes students do get confused, like, well, I want to take online courses, but I want to be a main campus student or so forth like that. So I just wanted to make sure, you know, if somebody was interested in just fully on absolutely online, taking courses at one of those centers that might be closer to them or just completely online, this is what App State Online is. Any other questions? And Jag, do you care to share your email with me? You can do it privately through the chat, and I'll be happy to look more into the sporting events, anything like that, and get you that information. For some reason, my PowerPoint wants to take us back to Caitlin, so I'm going to stop sharing there. That way it doesn't get us confused. All right. Well, everyone, it was a pleasure meeting you guys. If y'all have further questions, look at our website, and we're the online and transfer services. You can find Miss Karen's email address. You can find mine. You can email us at online@appstate.edu, transfer@appstate.edu, anything like that. We are here to help you ask, or not ask questions, answer any questions that you may have, or just kind of help you figure out what you may need to do or want to do. We go, you know, our whole team we evaluate your credits. Karen is one of our recruiters. She's at our office in Caldwell. She's here to help. And then, you know, I'm here to answer any questions as well.
Be sure to join us at 12:15 for our closing sessions. We'll have some students from the main campus signing in as well. So, but just wanted to remind y'all that to try to catch up with us at 12:15, take a little break, grab you some tea or a soda, and just join it back up with us. And thank you so much for attending our Transfer Overlook session today. I'm going to put my email in the chat if y'all want to need me for anything. But thank you again.
And I just added mine as well.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. We know, you know, Saturdays are for fun, family, whatever. So I do thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to what I had to say. And like I said, we're here to help if you have any questions, and join us again at 12:15.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Well, I won't close out just yet. I think they're writing down our emails, and if we do, it shuts everybody out.